Well, good morning, my friends. Welcome once again to another edition of Behind the Mic. My name is Mike Avery here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, here to record recording next week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. This is something I do every week here from the studio. Also, we'll do a Wednesday night live tonight from my office/studio at the house. Good morning, Brent. How are you, buddy? Kevin, always a pleasure. I see you had an interesting conversation on the post on my page. Johnny, I thought you weren't going to be able to make it, buddy. Craig, good morning. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. John, Mad Jack, Mike, our usual cast of characters. Oh, by the way, folks, since many of you were at our Wild Game dinner, we signed the contract yesterday. We, Trinity. Our Wild Game dinner next year will be Saturday, March 4th, and it will be at the Great Hall in Midland. Rick, good morning. Jay, good morning. Dance is finally spring in the UP. Good morning. Ron checking in from Colorado. Good morning, Jim. Tim, nice to have Tim. The place you and Jen have up north, it looks absolutely beautiful. Ed Bolanowski will be joining me tonight on Wednesday Night Live for a giveaway during turkey season. Sean, good morning. Nice to have you with us. Hello, Kathleen. I don't recognize your name. Glad to have you along with us. Joe, we issued a call Monday night. Hoping this is the one. Good morning, Chad. On his way to Captain Chuck's in Ludington to get some work done. Excellent. Jerry, how are things in Algonac? Greg, good morning. Checking in from Kentucky. Robert checking in from Florida today. I will be in Florida Saturday. Do not ask me why I'm going to be in the Florida Keys on a day it's going to be 74 degrees in Michigan, the opening day of the Michigan turkey season, and I will be in the Keys. Good morning, Cliff. It's for a family wedding. I'm looking forward to that. So it's for a good cause. It's for a good reason. Cliff, nice to have you along with us as well. Bruce, I didn't say hi to you. Anyway, my name is Mike Avery. This is another edition of Behind the Mic, so it's Mike Behind the Mic. So Saturday is the opening day of turkey season here in Michigan. Good morning, Max. Nate checking in from Akiak. I will not be in the turkey woods Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, or Wednesday morning. Scott says fawns are on the ground already. Nice. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that very much. We are as well. I didn't realize that, Scott. Boy, it's early, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's early. Well, Mother Nature knows what Mother Nature knows. But I will be turkey hunting. We get back Wednesday, so I'll be turkey hunting Thursday morning. Craig says 2 Jakes are on the cabin in Lupton. Kevin checking in from far, far away in Bass. I think it's early too, Mike. Anyway, again, the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner will be at the Great Hall next year in Midland, which gives us a chance to really expand the event. And we're going to have to raise prices a little bit. So what is going on here? I am recording the show, as I say, for next week. Can I tell you who's on the show this week? Paul says, I want pics of those fawns. Good morning, Dan. On this weekend's radio show, we're talking turkey with Adam Bump of the DNR. Mark Romanek of Fishing 411 talks about all things springtime fishing. And Corey Michek. Hey, Paulie. Paul Phillips, one of the best extreme long-range shooters in the world, undisputed, on the Mike Avery Outdoors Facebook page right now. Good morning, Paul. And congrats on your recent personal celebration. Now, you know that I considered myself a friend of Nick Percy of Killer Food Plots, and Nick used to be on the radio show a lot, especially at this time of year. Already recorded, Bill. I can't ask him another question because it's already done. Good morning, Tim. How are things in Ohio? Nick Percy used to be on the show a lot talking about food plots. Nick is gone now. He died from COVID. Way too young. So Corey Michek of Ideal Northern Edge Food Plots, Standish Milling, the guys at Jay said he is a real good guy to be a subject matter expert for me. So he's on the show this week to talk about food plots. And, of course, wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner. Ed says it must be spring because the ice is off Hubbard Lake. Hunter Joe, good morning. How are you, buddy? Speaking of people who passed, and this is for kind of a local thing, I did not know until Sunday morning in church that Jay Brando had passed away. Jay, a friend of mine from way back. We used to work together at TV5. Good morning, Lane. How are you? Corey's a good guy. Excellent. Okay. I didn't know him before. Mark checking in from Kalkaska. Yeah, we're going to miss you. All right. So a lot of people know Corey. Excellent. Okay. Maybe he's going to be my go-to guy from now on. Chad, Frank's Great Outdoors, has a great set of all right. Nobody's asked me this until now. I didn't see it before, Johnny. Johnny says, Mike, what day is it? I can hear the guys in the other studio going, it's hump day. John, Tim, Lake Erie's on fire, but Lake Erie and the Detroit River both on fire right now. The old days, remember Lake Erie used to really burn? Oh, hey, I got another drug test in the mail for my charter captain hump day. I could hear you guys in the studio going, it's hump day. So yeah, in the mail the other day, I got another drug test from the U.S. Coast Guard. Bill Hoffman says hump day is the what's up of this generation. Johnny said, I didn't see it before, Johnny. Sal, nice to have you along with us. Yeah, so this is I think this is the fourth mandatory drug test I've had since I've been a charter captain. I've been a captain 2 years. Very true, Bernie. The longer you live, the more friends you'll see pass away. Paul says, every day is a Saturday when you're retired. Rub it in, Paul, although I love what I'm doing. I do. So, whoa, turkey season opens this Saturday across the state. Next Saturday is the trout opener statewide, the walleye and pike opener in the Lower Peninsula. Good morning, Randy. How are you? It is a beautiful morning in Michigan. Yeah, they are really concerned about me taking drugs. They should test for cigars. If they tested for cigars or Maker's Mark, I'd be done. But if they test for drugs, I'm good. I'm clean. Next Sunday. Yeah. 76. I know, and I won't be here. Next Sunday is May 1st. How many decoys do you put out opening morning? Yeah, 1 or 2, Kevin. Although this opening morning, I won't have any out. Rick says being retired is the best job he ever had. May 1st through June 1st is the time to apply for Michigan bear and elk tags. Just putting that out there now. You've got, you'll have several weeks. Bill says, Mike, retire and I'll do the show for you. And you do all the business. I don't plan on retiring, Bill. I've said this before. I mean, God's plans are not my plans, and my plans are not God's plans, but I don't plan to retire. Tim says, cigars are a hobby, not a habit. And I'll smoke my cigars to the glory of the Lord until he returns. Hobby, not a habit. I'll go one step further, Tim. Cigars are a lifestyle. Johnny says the water needs to go down for trout up here, but I don't see that happening because there's still 2 feet of snow up north. Don't you Yoopers know it's springtime yet, Johnny? Paul says he'll have 10 points. He's shooting a big one. Mark was on here. Mark Holston was on here earlier talking about how he's going to miss us in Ohio this fall. Yes, we are going to miss you and your son as well, Mark. We do have one more opening. I keep forgetting to mention this, to keep pushing this. Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters, OhioBowhuntingOutfitters.com. We will be down there the 3rd week in October, after the lull, before the rut, and we have an opening. And if you would like to get in on this event, many of the people on here this morning are hunting with us. There's about a dozen of us going down. Send me an email, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, and I will put you in touch with Bill, and you can go with us. TJD checking in from Saginaw. Good morning, Davina. I wondered if you're going to be on here. Bernie says, when I'm 95 and you're 90, will I still be able to watch your podcast? Yes, because it'll be out there forever. It'll be on the internet. Rob up in White River says, spring still, big snow in the bush and call for more tonight. Yeah, it's not spring there yet, is it, Rob? No, 8:45, Davina. And 7 o'clock tonight for Wednesday Night Live. So have you been out picking up night crawlers for the walleye and trout opener? Or have they been frozen when you try to pick? Rob says, hell no. Oh, what else here? No word on my boat. I mean, if I would call them and ask them, they would have an update on my boat, but I haven't heard anything on my boat. So again, waiting for, you might miss it tonight, Davina. That's okay. That Brenton USA hunting rifle, BrentonUSA.com. My 350 Legend is done. I need to pick that up, but not until we do a Wednesday Night Live around it. That's going to be a while yet. And of course, that Angler Quest, the 826 Pro Troll, probably the deluxe Angler Quest. Waiting on that, but that's okay because I am going to be out of town here for the next few days. And then trying to kill a turkey, not trying, and then killing a turkey. And then I'll be ready to fish. Davina, Detroit River walleye fishing limits always an adventure. Captain Justin from Drummond Island. Good morning, Sam. How are you? It was nice to see you at Jay's week and a half ago. Sam works in the archery department at Jay's in Clare. Does a great job. He's one of my go-to guys. I ask for Kevin or Sam. Which reminds me of something it's wormsicles. Yeah, that's true. Wormsicles. What, Sam, you made me think of something here. Huh. I'm going to go out, Brenton, made in Michigan, awesome firearms. You used to rep them. I didn't know that, Chad. Yeah, I'm working with those guys now. I'm very excited about it. This afternoon, I think, once I get out of the studio here, and I'll record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, and then the Primal Tree Stands podcast, actually interviewing, what is his name? Tyler Jordan. Bill Jordan's son. Jordan, I never know. But I will find out. Tim is picking up his boat this afternoon, 1850 Crestliner Fishhawk, still pretty cold in the water. Amen to that. I have interviewed Tyler before. Great guy, really nice guy. Especially for being such a high profile guy. Back when we used to do the Vanguard podcast, I had Tyler Jordan and who is the right-hand guy for Bill Jordan? Really nice guy, soft-spoken guy, but I got a mental block. I can't think of his name. But this afternoon, see, you thought I was losing my train of thought, didn't you? I'm going to go out and put up a blind. Since I'm going to be tied up for the next few days, I'm going to put up one of my Wraith 270 see-through ground blinds. I have the perfect spot on a nearby property that my buddy Doug owns, and I'm going to be turkey hunting out there when I get back. So to save some time, I'm going to go out there this afternoon. I'm going to put a blind up. I'm going to throw a couple of decoys in the blind, throw my tripod in the blind, and David Blanton. Thank you, Chad. And throw a chair in the blind, so I'm good to go. And then I will take that Dart and Toxin 100 and make sure it's sighted in and good to go. So when I come back from my trip Thursday morning, I can head out there and know that I'm ready to rock. I'm looking forward. David Blanton. Yep. Hello, Brian. How are you this morning? David Blanton. Yeah, really nice guy. Again, for guys who are, and I found the same thing with, oh my gosh. My memory, and that's not a good thing. Help me out. Michael, Realtree, Michael, Waddell. Another really nice guy. I mean, I've interviewed him, talked to him, had conversations with him. Just a nice guy. Davina says, I'll sit out there and watch it for you until you get back. Waddell, yes. Waddy. So not all the high-profile names in the outdoor industry are jerks. Just a few of them. But I think you're going to find that in every industry, right? I think, especially in the outdoor industry, a lot of the people who work so hard to get to the top are there because they are good people and they are trustworthy, and people have trusted them over the years and been comfortable to partner with them and comfortable to have them promoting their products. And that's what it takes. If you look at the outdoor industry, there's a lot of people who come in and make a big splash and they're gone. And a few people ride it out for decades. How much time, Pat? Oh, we got a good.
Yeah,
we got a long time yet.
I'm gonna fix our clock here. Let's say 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Holy cow. We got 5 more minutes, my friends. By the way, I'm in the studio with award-winning radio broadcaster Pat Johnston, who just he didn't sweep the recent MAB awards, but he should have. You can listen to Pat on WSGW AM and FM. If you don't live in the Saginaw old Tri-Cities area, you can find them online at WSGW.com. Pat? Yeah, WSGW.com. Mad Jack says, sorry for not being on live at 7 o'clock lately. The night shift is getting in the way. Work has a tendency of getting in the way with life, doesn't it? Okay, so checking my list here. If you are going to be, there we go, Waddy, T-Bone, Travis Turner. I don't know Travis. I don't know T-Bone either. And how's he doing? I know he's been sick. Oh, Scott Hand says, still looking for a title sponsor for Sunday at Walleye for Warriors. 2 splitting the cost would work too. I am not sure and don't want to talk now publicly about what's involved in being a title sponsor. However, if this is something you wanted, Johnny is headed for a truck driving physical. Did they do a drug test too, Johnny, like they are for me, for my charter captains? Judy, good morning. How are you? Bernie says, honesty, integrity, character, and being a straight shooter goes a long way when you're in sales and promotion and marketing and business in general, right? Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters is in the house. T-Bone is Travis. Okay. See, I don't know these things. He did lose one of his legs. I didn't know that. I am in the business, but I'm not a fan of the business in that I don't follow what's going on. Hey, Judy, haven't talked to you for a long time. I have a video says he's doing okay. Nigel taking a lunch. I do know that he has a reputation of being a really good guy. But I'm not. You'll see people who will. Good morning, Nikki. You'll see people who will go to these shows and want to get pictures taken with their arms around these people and stuff. I'm not one of them. More than 4 decades. The convention continues today. All right. Slip these on, do a test for Pat Johnson. I can hear it. I'm good. Ed says, message me, Scott Hand. I may be able to help. So Ed Bolanowski, Scott Hand, if you guys do not take random drug tests, maybe not. I'm with you, Johnny. I have nothing to worry about, but I'm getting random drug tested for the 4th time for my charter captain's license. So Ed Bolanowski and Scott Hand, you guys should talk about maybe being able to work something on in the Walleye for Warriors event. That's coming up 3 minutes, June 11th and 12th on Saginaw Bay out of the Linwood Beach Marina, linwoodbeachmarina.com. The website for Walleye for Warriors is walleyesforwarriors.com, even though there's no such word as walleyes. It's like deer. There's no such word as deers. It's deer. There's no such word as sheeps. It's sheep. But I'm splitting hairs here, and I already split all my hairs, so I shouldn't worry about it. It's 420. Oh, it is 420. Isn't this pot day? It is. What do they call this? 420 is, what do they call it?
Yeah, you're right.
Good point, Johnny. It's 420.
2 minutes.
Catching deers. Ewes. Book will be out this. No, Judy, I did not see that. Judy Black says, not sure if you saw my post, but my book will be out this fall. Many bow hunting adventures from around the world. Oh, excellent. Judy, when that gets closer, let's get you on the radio show and talk about that. Catching deers, yes.
Just 420.
420. There is a picture, there are a couple of them, of me in the quad at the University of Michigan during a certain celebration that has two words that they both rhyme. And those pictures will never, ever end up online. I promise you that. But they're kind of funny. And if this isn't stereotypical of 1977 or 78, no, Sal, I didn't use those words. You used those two words.
1 minute.
Randy says, Walleye for Warriors, have they filled the boat captains yet? Scott Hand, have they filled the boat captains for Walleye for Warriors yet? All right, in about 50 seconds here, I'm going to change my focus from talking with you in real time about what's going on. And for one last week, we're going to do some time shifting. So when you hear me talk on the radio show here in just a minute, you're going to think I've gone crazy, but we will be talking about next weekend because Kenny's in, where did I miss that right there? Good morning, Kenny. How are you? Yes, on captains.
15.
Scott's in Chicago until tomorrow. I'm going to switch gears and we're going to record next week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. So if you hear me talking about the trout opener and the walleye opener and such, I haven't gone completely crazy. Blast off. And as I said, blast off, I looked over to make sure the mic button was not pressed, Pat.
Oh, I made sure this stuff. I made sure.
Last week we went to do the show and I always go blast off. And Pat says, whoops, we got to restart it. Because they would have heard you say blast off. All right, my friends, 7 o'clock tonight. If you can, join me for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. If you want, feel free to stick around as I record the first segment of next week's radio show. Don't be confused about the time shifting, though. It's confusing for me, and we've been doing it for about 6 weeks now. This is the last week we'll do it for a while. All right, my friends, have a great day. Enjoy the weather. I'll talk to you tonight, 7 o'clock, Wednesday Night Live. Here's Mike Avery. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across the great state of Michigan. Okay, I think we've established the groundwork there, haven't we? This is a 3-hour radio show, been on the air for many, many years. I've been covering the outdoors here in Michigan for a long, long time and blessed to be able to do that. So, it's kind of a big weekend in the outdoors in Michigan, isn't it? A weekend that, man, as I was a kid, it was like second. When I was a kid, there was what? Christmas was huge. The opening day of gun season was huge. And the opening day of trout season was huge as well. And this weekend across the great state of Michigan, it is the opening weekend of trout season. It's also in the Lower Peninsula. The opening weekend of walleye season, which is a big deal these days, the opening day of pike season. And our friends in the Youp are going to have to wait a couple of more weeks before the walleye season opens up there. Man, I remember it fishing brook trout out of Cedar Creek. I know it's Cedar Creek, but I will call it crick, just like I will call them popples, even though I know they're poplars. And it was an adventure. I mean, for a kid my age, right? The creek ran right through town, and it was full of little brook trout, and it was full of chubs. And I had waders, and I had a bait casting reel and a rod. And for 2 weeks prior to the opening day of trout season, weather permitting, I'd be out there looking for night crawlers. And that, for a kid, was an adventure in itself. I mean, think about it. What was I? 10? 11? I don't know what I was. I mean, I'm old enough to go out there and do it, but young enough to still be enthused and excited and impressed by it. But you'd go out there with a flashlight looking for these night crawlers. That was a hunt. That was an experience in itself. because you gotta find them, right? So you got to take a warm, rainy night, which this year there weren't many warm, rainy nights to bring the crawlers up before the season started. You got to find them. You got to wait till they're all stretched out, right? These big, gooey, juicy, meaty night crawlers, all stretched out, and you got to sneak up on them because they can feel the vibration. If you come up there, bam, 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 they're going to go back in their hole, and they do it really fast. So you got to find them. You got to sneak up on them. You got to get your hands in there, and you got to grab them with your fingers and pinch them, and keep them from going back down into that hole. But there's an art to it. You got to grab them hard enough to hang on to them so they can't slip away, but you can't grab onto them so hard that you pinch them in half. You know, as many of these things as you can find. And then you got to store them, right? Bus bedding or old newspapers or wet leaves or whatever is mixed in with some dirt. You got to figure out a way to store it, to keep them as long as possible. I know we would run out of crawlers towards the end of the summer and have to go to grasshoppers or something like that, and they didn't work nearly as well. So I'd take my little my little bait bucket on my belt and my bait casting reel and my hip boots. I couldn't have waders. I was young enough. My dad wouldn't let me have waders. He said, waders, he said, you're going to be tempted to go into water too deep and you're going to get yourself in trouble. So for those first few years, I could only use hip boots. So I couldn't go in water too deep. There were a lot of days I came home with water over the top of my hip boots. I'll tell you that. But I could ride my bike down to the creek. And there were a number of bridges in town that you had access to the water. And to walk into that water and take that night crawler, you know, you loop them over the hook and maybe loop them again, a couple of split shots, and drift them on down through the runs and drift them on down through, you know, you were looking for the deep holes, right? Under the banks, the undercuts, trying to get one of these little brook trout. What was it, 7-inch limit? Yeah, I think it's 7 inches. Man, a 9-inch brook trout was a monster. I only caught a couple of those over the years. Trying to get through the holes that had chubs in them. It was just a wonderful adventure. I never got into fly fishing. I think I probably missed the boat, no pun intended there. But there's only time for so many vices, right? Michigan is one of those states where we have so many different outdoor recreational opportunities that you can't do everything. You've got to pick and choose what your vices, your hobbies, your habits are going to be. And for me these days, it's walleye fishing, which does not involve crawlers on my Angler Quest. That's a topic for another day. Bear hunting and turkey hunting. Now, I did not hunt opening weekend because I was out of town. As you are hearing this show, I have spent a couple of mornings in the turkey woods. If you want to check out that and see how that went, go to my Facebook page or my Instagram feed. It is time to apply, by the way, starting May 1st for your Michigan bear and elk tag. You got the month of May, but why not do it now before you forget? I am applying for the third season in Newberry. I am guaranteed a tag now. With just 1 point. And this whole concept of the number of points you need for a given area and a given season will be discussed here in this week's show on the Ask Avery segment at the end of the second hour in depth. So if you're interested in that, stick around and we'll talk about that and how many points you need. But I am guaranteed a tag now in Newberry for the third season, which starts September 25th. I will be hunting with my buddy Johnny Bowler, trying to redeem ourselves. Johnny did put me on a bear last time I was up there 2 years ago. I was hunting with a recurve, wasn't able to get it done. This year I've got my dart and crossbow, and I'm looking to redeem myself, Johnny. And he's the guy who can make it happen. So you do have until you have the month of May. The And listen, if you're one of those people who say, I'm not giving the DNR my $5 or whatever it is for my elk tag because I'm never going to get it, good. Because the more of you who have that attitude and the fewer people who apply, the better my chances are. I don't think I will ever get a Michigan elk tag, but I know that if I don't apply, I never will. So I'm going to apply. But I will put most of my emphasis for a Michigan elk tag into the pure Michigan hunt because I can apply multiple times to increase my odds of getting that elusive Michigan elk tag. But I will be bear hunting in the UP this fall. God willing, I will be bear hunting in the UP this fall with my friend Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. What else? Oh, I got another random drug test request. And it's not really a request. It's an order. That I will be following up on. And I think it's funny. I have no problem being drug tested. None at all. Don't test me for cigars or Maker's Mark because that one I'm going to fail. And I think you should be drug tested to be a licensed charter captain. If people are going to pay you, not that they pay me, but if you're going to take people out on the water and they're going to trust you, there should be some very strict, stringent, regulated concerns around that. You know, the process of getting your license of getting your license is not easy. And then you got to jump through a whole bunch of paperwork with the Coast Guard to get it. And then you've got to keep up on your first aid, which I just recertified, and your drug testing. And they can do it whenever, randomly, whenever. And this is I think it's my fourth time. I don't mind it. It is a hassle. It takes time out of the day. But okay, it's one of these things you got to do. I get that. So what else? Let's see. Every Wednesday morning at almost every Wednesday morning at 8:45, I am here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. I do a live stream called Behind the Mic. It's actually Mike Behind the Mic. Encourage you to join that, to check out that. And then Wednesday nights at 7. And there have been very few Wednesday nights at 7 that I haven't done this. Occasionally something will come up. But that's the big show. Wednesday night at 7, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and a chance for us to interact. Now, the radio show is great, but you and I don't get to interact. The Wednesday night lives, we can. Coming up here after the break on the Outdoor Magazine radio show, a conversation with Eric Long of Longline Charters, his website, chartergreatlakes.com, talking about springtime fishing. Then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News on their May edition of their trusted, esteemed magazine. In hour number 2, we're going to talk about turkey hunting during the mosquito season with Al Stewart, retired DNR wildlife biologist. Julie Ellsworth of the DNR comes along to talk about the new DNR website and how you might take advantage of that. I already said the Ask Avery segment is talking about bear points. And in hour number 3, springtime Great Lakes fishing with Dan Jordan of Team Angler Quest here on Outdoor Magazine. Yes. Thank you, Davina. Derek said, I thought a trout opener was the last Saturday of April with the 30th. Correct. And Davina jumped in and said he's recording next week's show. Thank you, Davina, for that. All right, my friends, have a great day. Enjoy the weather. I'm going to go out and put up a turkey blind. I'm going to shoot my crossbow, get it all sighted in this afternoon. And then I will see you tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Have a good day.